what is the seer and what is the seen.
Yes.
So the way we answer this is the seer, the mind is the seer, and the eyes is the seen, or putting it in a different way, the conscience is the seer, and the mind is the seen.
Conscience or conscious?
Consciousness.
Consciousness, excuse me, consciousness.
Okay, okay. So take me step by step. Just like I took you.
See the object after seeing. Eyes are the seer.
Okay.
Eyes is the seen, the mind is the seer,
Okay.
and then the consciousness is the seer, mind is the seen.
So what's the difference between the seer and seen? They're different.
Seer is constant, seen is changing, it can be perishable.
Okay. Okay.
The scene depends, it depends on the seer. It doesn't have ability of its own.
It doesn't have independent existence, right? The seen depends on the seer.
It has no ability of its own.
Yes. Very good. Yes. What else?
The ultimate
Sees
seer,
finite.
the ultimate seer cannot be seen.
The ultimate seer can never be seen. Okay. All the other seers, they become seen, right? So they're fake seers. Because they like they have like borrowed consciousness, borrowed ability. So they're fake seers. Then what else did we study? That the seer is never affected by the seen. So your eyes won't become blue. So why does the mind, why this consciousness as though become blue? Right? They're two different things. Okay, so once we get this, then we know I'm seer, and everything else is seen. Okay, good. Question 2. Tell the mind no Atma. Tell the mind no Atma. So what is it?
The mind cannot know the Atma.
Why can't the mind know Atma?
Because if you know the Atma, then Atma becomes object of knowing.
Correct. If you know the Atma, it becomes an object. So what's the purpose of the mind?
To remove ignorance, to get to the knowledge of Atma.
Correct.
By purifying the mind.
Right. That
Pure mind.
right. So that purified mind is able to remove ignorance. That much the mind can do. Just like removing the clouds. It cannot reveal Atma because Atma is self-luminous. So that much is the purpose of the mind. That much the mind can do. That's why our mind and intellect equipment can only go to a limit. After that, it's pure faith. It's pure faith.
It's pure faith.
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 F-A-I-T-H. Faith. Faith, because that's it. You know, you have to just let go. You remove the ignorance and then you just be. And it's just pure faith that I am that. Pure faith. Intellect cannot go to Atma. There's no way it can reach it. Okay. That's clear so far? Question 3. Just it.
You want me to read it? Question 3 is Atma ultimately seen?
On the ultimate
Seer.
Ultimate seen?
Seer.
Sorry, is Atma the ultimate seer? Why or why not? So the way we describe the answer is we put Atma as it's pure, has no parts, no form, no attributes, and no quality. So the answer is yes, it is.
Yes.
But the reason why is yes, it's because of
Because of these things.
yeah,
Right.
these attributes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because it can't be seen.
It can't be
It cannot be
seen.
seen.
You don't take another light to illumine Atma, because it is self-luminous, right? think actual answer is, it would be it's self-luminous. It doesn't require anything else to illumine it. And if it did, then Atma would become objectified, right? So because it's self-luminous, then it's the ultimate seer. You can't go past that. And it is the seer, like you said, that never becomes seen.
So you can't see it, but you can feel it, experience.
No, then.
You can't feel, and then
That's
what
it.
you can't see, feel, hear, think, you can't do anything.
Your senses are coming into it.
So I guess like you said, the mind only can go so far, then it's faith, right? So
Yes.
it's
And it's beyond your control.
yeah, it's beyond your control to.
Then you just are. You cannot
You
feel
become
it, you cannot think it, you are it. That is Atma. Okay? This will come, I think, in one of the next questions. So next question.
Yes, I asked it wrong. You can't feel it, be it.
You can just be it.
You can just be it.
Is,
Without knowing you're it.
Without knowing
You're
it.
it.
You got it.
You just are.
You just are. You just are. You cannot feel like, I feel like I'm Atma. It's not a feeling. It just are.
Is it, if I were to put it in a crude analogy, it's like infinity. You
Yeah.
can never
See the end of
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
But it
That's what it is, infinity.
I mean, I don't know whether it's a.
It's
Weird
very
ways.
much like that. You just are that, right?
Yeah, okay.
You
There's
can
no
just-
end, there's no beginning.
There's no, yeah, you cannot,
It's like, just like the circle also. You don't know where the beginning is, where the end is, it just keeps
yeah,
going.
you just are. That's it. That's why it's, you come. The way to get it is, you know, to negate. We'll go to the next question and we'll come to that.
What's the difference between Atma and the knower?
So what's the difference between Atma and the knower? It should be so clear in the head so that we never mistake the ego to be Atma. Okay, so what's the difference?
Like Atma is nirgun, no thought, formless, whereas knower is all this. So that's the difference what I understand.
Okay. Yes. What else? Anything else?
Knower is a part of the Tripurti.
Knower is part of the Tripurti,
Yes.
where Atma
Atma
is
is
out of
outside.
Tripurti, right? Knower is changing. Atma is changeless. Knower is not there in deep sleep. Atma is ever awake, ever aware, even in deep sleep. Right? Knower is affected, disturbed by things that are going on. Atma is ever unaffected. Knower is the one that says, I. And Atma is the one that is.
Just
Just is. The minute you say, I did this, I'm thinking this, that's it. You've got the knower there. Just be, that is Atma. So there's a difference there. If we can understand it, then it becomes easier to just be self-aware. So if this is Atma, how do we get to know Atma? Which is the next question. How do we get to know Atma?
Negative, and not body.
Negative.
Mind.
Because we can never objectify it. So the way to know it is just to say, not this, not this, not this, not this, and then what happened?
Silence.
Silence.
There's silence. Is that this?
No.
No. Atma is that which is even beyond, which is even aware of that silence. So there's no way to know it as something other than to just be it. And you will know, you will be, once that practice becomes fun. And what helps us to go within, which is the next question. What helps us to go within?
One quick question.
Yes.
So if we are in deep sleep, we don't know anything. Are we at that stage realizing, are we with one with the
Waiting,
Atma?
yeah, one, you are just.
So-
You just with the Atma. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
No, well, at deep sleep, it's not realization, because what happens is we're not self-aware, right? So what happens is, in the Upanishad will say, tamo vibhuta. We're covered by tamas,
Oh,
sukharupa meti. So even if the self is ever shining, we are covered in tamas. We are merged into prakriti. So we're not self-aware. But what happens at the seat of samadhi, let's say when we practice contemplation, we are completely self-aware. And when we go into deep sleep, there's no knowledge, there's no knowledge component there. You're just sleeping. When we go into samadhi, how do we go there? Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, I am Brahma, I am Atma. We go into this, and then we just become self-aware. That very thought dissolves into the self, and we just are. So that's very, very different from deep sleep. Although it seems like the same. One is overpowered by tamas, the other one you enter into through sattva. So that's why it's different.
And the silence we mentioned, we talked about how the Atma is beyond that silence.
Yes.
So once we reach, when we do neti, and when we come to that silence, does that faith begin there? Like, could we say that, like, because there's nothing more to remove?
There's nothing more to remove, but what you have to do is keep going in now. You know, so you've done neti, and you come to the silence. Now even go into the illuminator of that silence. Go into that. That is faith, the Mahavakya, Prajnanam Brahma. Go into the illuminator of that. So what's missing sometimes is people stop at that silence, but they don't go in. So we have to go in.
So there's one thing, the silence is, that is what it is. When people reach.
When people reach the silence, that's still observing.
yeah.
You have to go to the
But
observer.
is it mistaken for,
It
as
is
if
mistaken
for
Atma.
Atma?
Yeah, some people would say, I experienced Atma. Then you know that's not Atma. Right?
So how do you describe it then?
You cannot.
That's why all the Upanishads say you can't describe it, you can't
Quite
say
a
it.
trick question.
It's like you cannot describe a black hole.
It's like Prashanti, you will never know your Atma, I will know your Atma.
So
I just know it.
You know, like once I went to Puja Guruji and I said, how do you know somebody's realized?
Yeah.
And he said,
Somebody is what?
and
Realized.
I so silly went to ask Guruji this. I've always he's realized. But I was at that time, I was quite young, and I was interested in the course and everything like that, you know. He said, when you eat food, how do you know you're full? And I said, I just know I'm full. He said, can anybody else say if you're full? I said, no. He said, well, nobody else can say except that person. So it's your own thing. When you get to it, only you know, only you can say. Nobody else can say whether you're full, whether you're hungry, whether you've eaten, because only you know. So the same way, how do you know? You'll know. And one very beautiful thing he says is, once you know, you'll never ask a question again. You'll never, right? Because once you know, you know. It will just be so clear that you'll never be like, what was that?
It's very interesting that so many people are realized, nobody is able to describe it. I mean, I know there are no words to describe it.
You can't describe it, because the only thing that gets described is the expression of a realized master, which is Sthita Prajna Lakshana, Bhagavad Bhakta Lakshana, which all of these lakshanas that we see, the expression of the realized master is realized, but that state of just being, what can you say about it? Because everything is just shut off except the self. The only thing they can say is, Sat Chit Ananda, Nirgunaha, Nishkriyaha, Nitya.
Actually, if
You know?
you start describing it, that means the ego is coming
Correct.
there. Like
Yeah.
the whole fact is that you've surrendered your ego, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's so very
But
fact that you
people do
do.
come out of samadhi, right?
They do
They go
come
in
out.
and out.
Yeah,
That is
they
not
do.
real,
But
that's not
that-
still one actually.
After, so when one gains that firm abidance, they attain what is called sahaja samadhi. Means whether they're in sitting down or whether they're out in the world, they're sahaja samadhi. Means they're in
Nature.
constant awareness of their nature. So for them, you do have to come into samadhi, but for them, because their abidance is so firm, and whether they're in samadhi, whether they're not in samadhi, whatever it is, they're in that constant awareness of the self. And that experience, they can't, I mean, as much as they write about it, I mean, we'll never really know until we're there, you know?
And it may take several janmas.
It's not
No,
easy, you know,
Janma.
we are seeing, I mean, we are looking at the masters and we're saying so effortlessly they can sit quietly, so effortlessly they can do everything. Well, there is a lot of pain in their effort, which we don't see. We don't see what they went through, we don't see their sadhana, we don't see their hardships. We're just seeing their effortlessness and we're saying, why can't we be like that? Well, go through the pain of effort, that's how. And it takes years, it's not something that's so, you know, easy, so sulabha for us, because we still have a lot to do. So, we have to just be patient and just keep at it. It is also a practice. It's a way of life. Right? Now we go to the last question. What is the power of the Mahavakya? Or what is the purpose of the Mahavakya? What is the purpose of it?
To achieve, sorry, go ahead. To achieve unobstructing knowledge.
Yes, so the purpose of the Mahavakya is to give that knowledge. That our minds have to be unobstructed to gain it. Right? So the purpose of the Mahavakya is really to give it in one shot.
One shot, powerful.
And
That's
very, very powerful statement. What can be more powerful than that? You are infinite. And if the mind is ready, we're done. Here and now. But if the mind isn't, then we'll come back again. AtmaBodha again. Do it again. And again. And
That's
again.
what we need. We
And-
need constant.
Yeah.
It's the same knowledge which is said differently in every scripture. I mean, it's the same knowledge.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. You just, every scripture that we have been exposed to, it's the same thing, but it's still not enough. It's never enough.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Because you're not ready.
Exactly. No, that's what we need to keep listening to.
What was the question? Jiva. Can you ask? So we had a question in the group about what is the difference between the Jiva and
Jivatma and Paramatma.
Paramatma?
Okay. So Jivatma, and we studied this in AtmaBodha. Jivatma refers to that individual. No? Jiva. Paramatma, Ishvara, refers to consciousness associated with totality, or as we know, Ishvara. So remember we studied Tat, Tvam, Asi. So Tvam here means Jiva. Jiva, that consciousness identified with the individual. Then that Tat means Ishvara, consciousness associated with the total. That is the Vachyartha, that is the direct meaning. But when we go to the essential meaning, what is Jiva? Pure consciousness. What is Ishvara? Pure consciousness. Because you negate the individuality, the individual conditionings, you negate the total conditionings, and what is left is just the essence. So in an example of water, wave, ocean, wave is Jivatma. Ocean is Paramatma, identified with totality. So, at the conditioning level, Jivatma and Paramatma are different because Jivatma is like the wave. Alpa Shakti, Alpa Gnya, very little strength, very little knowledge. And Paramatma is like the ocean, means full of knowledge and full of strength. But when you look at them from the standpoint of water, both are the same. So Mahavakya is saying, look at them from the standpoint of water. There is no difference between Jiva and Paramatma. There is no difference between God and us. It's the same thing. The essence is the same.
And then Atma is?
Atma is I. Atma means self,
Self.
right? So the self of the individual or the self of God, the self of Ishvara. Hmm? When they say Atma in Brahman, Atma usually refers to the self with the individual, associated with the individual, and Brahman usually refers to the consciousness associated with the total. So they'll say this Atma is that Brahman,
Okay.
like that. Hmm? So these terms might count. Atma, Brahman, Jivatma, Paramatma, but it's all one.
So we had an offshoot here.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, because we had a laugh over this. So we were thinking, is the Jiva, can this pillar be Jiva?
Can this pillar be Jiva? So what do you all think?
Half,
So, I
half.
mean, is Jiva the individual like us, or any, like the plant is a Jiva, the animal is a Jiva, so an object can also be Jiva?
No. So
That's
let me
what I was
explain
saying.
to you. So
You're
what
making a pillar.
So what Jiva means is this. See, consciousness, we studied this, that existence is everywhere. This you know, existence, this is, existence is everywhere. We can't refute that. We also say that consciousness is everywhere. Everywhere there's consciousness. But what do you mean? Is there consciousness in this thing? Is there consciousness in this? What we mean is this. When there is a antakarana, when there is a mind-intellect equipment, consciousness manifests as life. And that is called jiva. When that consciousness manifests in the mind-intellect equipment, that is a jiva. So is a plant a jiva? Yes. Is an animal a jiva? Yes. Is a human a jiva? Yes. Is this a jiva? No, because it doesn't have a mind-intellect equipment. So that which has a mind-intellect equipment where consciousness can express is jiva. Now, having said that, is there consciousness here?
Yes.
Is there consciousness here?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not aware.
But there's no light,
Light.
but there's still consciousness. Just like the sun can shine everywhere, but only some surfaces will reflect the sunlight, some may not. But does it mean that the sun is not shining there? Sun is shining. Maybe sun is shining here, but it's not reflected here. Sun is shining here and it's reflected here. So consciousness is everywhere, but it is reflected in a mind-intellect equipment. And when it gets reflected in that, that is jiva.
But plants and animals, how do we say they have mind and intellect?
They have,
Plant
see, how do you, what is the definition of life? The ability to respond, right? So like this cannot respond to me, but a plant has a mind intellect because people talk to plants. People, you know, it responds, it is sentient, it responds, it grows. Animals also, they have a mind intellect equipment, not as well developed as ours, but animals also respond. Animals also, you know, they're sentient. They have their mind intellect equipment, and of course humans are more evolved sometimes. I think so. We think so, sometimes we're more evolved than animals. So that's what jiva means. Okay?
Okay.
And then so essentially jiva is that, and then of course jiva to act will need a body, etc., etc. But essentially jiva is that. Right? So clear?
No, I have just one thing to clarify. So anything in this planet has a life, it's Jiva, right?
Yes, that's right.
Anything does not have a life, like Nirjiva, pillar is Nirjiva, the statue is Nirjiva. We just put that thing in our mind, this is a god, but it's a statue.
It's a statue.
It's a stone. It does not have a life.
It does not have
It's
a
a
life.
Nirjiva. So anything which has a life, it's Jiva.
Yes.
So if we, and this birth is a human, and next birth, we don't know where we're gonna go. We may be an animal, we may be in a plant or something. We can only turn from a life to life, the jiva to jiva. We cannot be nirjiva.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Yes.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
You,
I
I
heard
mean,
about that.
in Ramayana means, yeah, but see in Valmiki Ramayana, this is what one of the professors had told me. It says that she doesn't become a stone, she becomes stone-like. But in Tulsi Ramayana, she's become a stone. So we can
So that is called jad. Jad is
Jada.
has a, jada. It has a life, but it's a jada. And that's we relate with the stone. But it's stone-like, it's called jada.
Jada.
Nothing
Correct.
affects like, oh,
Yeah.
can you wake up?
Jada.
No.
But now having said that even if this is inert, there's no life, there is still God in it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still imbued with existence, it's still imbued with consciousness, and so that's why our tradition respects every day. Even if it's a book, means Saraswati Mata is in this book. So, because we believe that that existence, consciousness is everywhere, is in everything. Whether it manifests as life, doesn't.
But it's not expressed.
It's just not expressed as life, but it's there. Existence, consciousness is there.
Consciousness is
So, we believe that there is God.
So we are a creator of making certain things, like we create a book. We have our ideas, we put in a book as a writing. So it's our creation, but it has no life. Book does not have a life, but it has our ideas, our thinking, our knowledge. We have put in our books as a writing. Same thing like this thermos or this cup, which is created by us.
Correct.
It does not have a life, but we have created for some purpose. We have used this thing for some purpose.
Correct.
So as a human being, we create so many things. We create a statue because we want to worship the God.
Correct.
We don't know the real shape and how it looks like, so we create a statue as our symbol.
Correct.
So our mind can relate to the statue and we worship God,
Correct.
but it does not have a life.
It does not have life. And that's why you do prana pratishta. As though you give a life to the statue.
I know.
But
As
it
though
is
you
still not a real way. We give it to Pran Pratishtha, but that's a mental thing. It's not a physical science.
Correct.
It's convincing ourselves.
It's convincing ourselves.
Convincing
It's
ourselves.
convincing ourselves.
Then comes the next stage of faith.
Correct.
That
Yes.
Pratishta.
Prana prati. And when you do
Yes.
puja, what are you doing?
Yes.
From your heart, you're invoking
Yes.
the
Yes.
life there.
Myself.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of reminding yourself that
Yeah.
this is what it is.
So as a jiva, we need something to relate to. As Atma, we don't need to, because Atma itself is a Paramatma.
Correct.
So as a jiva is our ego, we just need to relate to something we think is a God, is a statue is a God, this is this. So that's a jiva, it's ego.
Correct.
But Atma doesn't need that thing.
No. Atma doesn't need anything. Okay.
One question.
Sure.
Like body get tired, Atma also get tired?
No, Atma never gets tired. Never gets
But it
tired.
says when your Atma get tired, then leave the body and.
So now we have to be so specific, right? When we read a book, sometimes Atma will refer to Jivatma.
Jivatma, then Jivatma.
Correct. So when you are reading any book or any shloka, you see what context Atma is being used. Sometimes Atma is used as Jivatma. So when they say Atma is getting tired, maybe they're referring to Jivatma. Yeah. Because Atma doesn't have a body, so how will it get tired?
There is no death.
It's always eternal.
Yeah?
Atma
So all Atma clear? So let's say the closing prayer.
पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ